Yo, yo.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? We back at it again. The comeback plan in California.
Comeback plan. So it does look like we have Chris here tonight for in-depth analysis, but we will definitely tell you what is in Governor Gavin Newsom's comeback plan post-COVID for California. But first up, let's see what's going on in the news. All right, so we just had our first federally sanctioned Juneteenth holiday. Joe Biden commemorates new federal holiday Juneteenth, a day of profound weight and power. President Joe Biden is commemorating Juneteenth 2 days after signing a bill to make it a federal holiday. On Saturday, he posted a statement for the June 19th holiday, which marks the date. Let's see. Joe Biden commemorates new federal holiday Juneteenth, a day of profound weight and power. President Joe Biden is commemorating Juneteenth 2 days after signing a bill to make it a federal holiday. On Saturday, he posted a statement for the June 19th holiday, which marks the date that news of Confederate surrender reached the last enslaved Black people. When Union soldiers brought the news of freedom to Galveston, Texas in 1865, some 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation legally freed slaves in the southern states. Juneteenth marks both the long, hard night of slavery and subjugation and the promise of a brighter morning to come, Biden's statement said. It's a day of profound weight and power. Today and every day, we must work to ensure our nation finally lives up to its promise for equity for all. All right. And we caught up with Senator Bradford today at the CLBC genealogy event here in Sacramento, California at the California Museum. Let's see what he had to say.
Yes. All right, we're good to go. Usually I'm behind the camera, but today I'm actually in front of the camera. This is Moya from ETM Media Group, IMMIGRANT Media Group, and we're here with the one and only Senator Bradford. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you for this opportunity.
I'm messing up this interview.
Oh, no.
This is my younger brother. Can't you see the resemblance?
Of course.
Bradford has been my friend since he had hair.
I did have hair one time.
You did. I love this man.
Senator Bob Hertzberg.
Majority Leader Bob Hertzberg.
Nice
and friend of Stevie B for 35 years.
So
at least.
Since you get hijacked the interview, see?
All right, so we can do candid, yeah.
I just came over here. These just show the brotherhood.
It's all good.
Jewish people here.
It's all good. All right, appreciate it. All right, thank you. All right, so we like candid interviews. That's good. We like to improvise. We can improvise all day. All right, so Senator Bradford, can you explain the current process in terms of how you got onto the task force known as the Reparations Task Force?
Well, the legislation that Dr. Shirley Weber authored last year that now is the law that's created the framework.
Yes, obviously we will be showing that full clip at another time. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that.
Yes, for full coverage, always head over to ETM Media on YouTube and like, subscribe, and hit the bell, fam. Yep. You want to take this one, Yamoya?
All right. Macy Gray is in the news. Let's try and say goodbye, Old Glory. Give me a new U.S. flag. Shout out to Macy Gray. Macy Gray thinks America is ready to walk away from its national flag. And even though we may stumble, she thinks it's for the best and that the time has come for a new design. The I Try singer penned an op-ed this week for, of all outlets, Market Watch, in which she made the case for giving Old Glory a facelift because, as she puts it, the current version is tattered, dated, divisive, and incorrect, just like the Confederate flag, apparently. Macy's justification basically lies in a couple of points. One, she says the American flag's rep was dragged through the mud permanently and beyond repair due to the events of January 6th, when a bunch of MAGA truthers carried it high alongside Trump flags into the Capitol. She also says that numerically the stars are off and should be adjusted to 52 to take DC and Puerto Rico into account, which have been lobbying for statehood for a good long while now. Lastly, she suggests some color changes to reflect modern day America. Here's what she said has in mind. Here's what she said. That makes no sense, but I'll read it as is. Here's what she has in mind. Or maybe I should read better, right? In addition to adding a couple of stars for her vision of Old New Glory, for starters, she thinks that the stark white stripe should be off-white and that the stars themselves should be changed to reflect every skin tone of melanin in our fine nation.
Oh, what do you think of Macy Gray's flag design there?
Hey, look, if Macy Gray thinks the flag should be best represented for all the so-called colors in America, shout out to Macy Gray.
All right. And the stars kind of look like different shades of pennies to me. So we'll see where that goes. So ETM Media has been busy. We hit up several Juneteenth events this week. Also just showed you the CLBC genealogy event that we went to just today. And earlier this week, ETM Media attended the AB 105 hearings. Let's see what happened there.
And we are rolling. Let us know what we're doing here out at the Capitol, Sacramento, California.
Yes, we're here, beautiful Sacramento, California Capitol. We are here at the Capitol for hearings on our bill called the Upward Mobility Act of 2021, which, among other things, would require that where there are vacancies on or after next year for state boards and commissions, that there be at least one member of that board or commission who is from what we call an underrepresented community. Now, what's important for us about this bill is that also included in the bill is language that Coalition for a Just and Equitable California, CJEC, actually authored that would, for the first time ever, make California break down the data it collects for its black population by lineage. So you know right now we use this big black or African American category, right, to describe who we are, and that works for everyday parlance and right, and for us just talking. But for policy, that's not enough. We need to break that category down because it's very, very broad, right? And we need to talk about specifically blacks from the USA, right? Blacks who descend from U.S. slavery, blacks who come from our Caribbean countries, blacks who come from our African countries, right? Our community is not a monolith, so we need to make sure we're getting good, clear data on the specific needs of our community, so that way we can design good, effective strategies to get good and effective outcomes, right? So that's why we're here today. We just had our hearings in the Senate Public Employment Committee. We were successful. I was very lucky to be voluntold to actually testify on behalf of Coalition for Just and Equitable California, along with my partner Emmanuel from the Coalition of Black Employees. We were successful today. This is a big accomplishment because we got the bill passed out of the Senate Public Employment Committee, and we're on our way now to the Senate Judiciary Committee. So this is a big deal, big win, great day, and yeah, here we are.
Yeah, we've been busy, and Chris giving expert witness testimony on that. You can also slide over to ETM Media Group to see more coverage on that.
Whoop, whoop.
It's been a big week for reparations, news, and ethnicity. Let's see. Mayor of LA, a tweet from him that says, as we celebrate Juneteenth 2021, a new equity motion was introduced today by the leadership. And we've got some handles here: Emright Lee Thomas, Curran D. Price Jr., using last summer's Executive Directive 27 as a springboard. This motion will further evaluate, improve on how LA is serving Black Angelenos. Okay, so a little bit about this Executive Director number 27. Our city is in pain and we are hungry for change. The demonstrations for racial justice in recent weeks have not exposed something new. They've laid bare the urgent and overdue demand to end structural racism. America's tragic history of violent and persistent discrimination casts a long shadow over the challenges Blacks and other people of color confront today in housing, employment, and criminal justice system. Without stability in these spheres, it's no wonder these communities lag behind white Americans in indicators of financial security, such as asset acquisition and the ability to transfer wealth across generations. Even more fundamentally, Blacks and people of color have long had good reason to fear for their personal safety. The cumulative impact of these social, economic, and political forces result in a shamefully desperate and stratified society. We must marshal every tool at our disposal to ensure that all in our community are given the opportunity to thrive and reach for their full potential. And while we cannot dislodge structural racism overnight, it is our responsibility to acknowledge hard truths and advance the cause of reform. It's our duty as Angelenos and public servants to make Los Angeles reflect the hallowed but often elusive principles that underlie our republic. That we are created equal, and that each of us entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All right, and it looks like a group of mayors got together, 11, I believe, to form a reparations collective of sort. Let's take a look on the announcement on that this week.
Well, welcome and good morning and good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for being here on this historic day. Very happy Juneteenth to everybody, which was wonderful and remarkable to see a big national step taken forward thanks to our national leaders. But we are here today to launch the largest ever coalition of mayors who are committed to leading reparations pilots and to building momentum behind the reparations movement targeted to Black Americans in our cities and across. So this day is part of a long overdue and a long awaited moment. And I want to thank my fellow mayors who are part of this effort. Austin Mayor Steve Adler, St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter, Tallahassee Mayor Keisha Curran, Providence Mayor Jorge Elorza, Kansas City Mayor Quentin Lucas, Durham Mayor Steve Schul, and Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg. And we also have a few mayors who are part of our coalition but not able to join us today, including the co-chair of this movement, my good friend Denver Mayor Michael Hancock, who sends his very best and spoke with him yesterday about his excitement, Asheville Mayor Esther Mannheimer, as well as St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones. Look.
All right, looks like we got some mayors trying to get behind the reparations cause. No, that's a step. All right. Supreme Court rules against NCAA in antitrust case in unanimous decision. The Supreme Court on Monday ruled against the NCAA in a landmark antitrust case that specifically challenged the association's ability to have national limits on benefits for athletes that are related to education, but more broadly has raised doubts about its ability to limit benefits at all. The ruling will end the association's nationwide limits on education-related benefits athletes can receive for playing college sports. In upholding lower court rulings, the justices affirmed an injunction that could fundamentally alter the NCAA system of amateurism. Athletes playing Division I men's or women's basketball or bowl subdivision football will be able to receive benefits from their schools that include cash or cash equivalent awards based on academics or graduation. Among the other benefits that schools also can offer are scholarships to complete undergraduate or graduate degrees at any school and paid internships after athletes have completed their collegiate sports eligibility.
So the NCAA had quite a racket going on for quite a long time. I'm glad to see things are changing and changing with the Mayor's Coalition. I was glad to hear that Sacramento Mayor Steinberg is involved in that. I only heard 2 California mayors that signed up for that, LA and Sacramento. Hopefully more will get on board, especially since we have AB 3121, the reparations task force out here. We really do need support from all of our elected officials on that.
Definitely.
And that is in the news.
All right. All right, now back to business.
Back to business. Okay. When we left you last week, we were talking about the homeless initiatives that Governor Gavin Newsom has in place, goal to end in 5 years, 3.5 billion for that. So that's a good thing. We'll keep an eye on that and see if the homeless situation can get cleaned up with these resources. Transforming our mental health system is one thing that he's looking at. We know that a lot of the homeless have mental health issues, so that will be helpful in that regard as well. $1.1 billion there. Homelessness, Clean California. They talk about cleaning up the homelessness issues. Transform public spaces and clean highways, add jobs for at-risk youth that are formerly homeless, revitalize a community of arts. All right, so that's where we left off last week. What else is in this plan?
All right, so it looks like we have housing. 1.75 billion is going to go to affordable housing. As you can see, is going to be preserving some affordable housing, home ownership, excess land development. Oh, that'd be nice. Hopefully some, Black folks can get into that, and construction of apprenticeships.
Transforming public education, 20 billion, reimagining public schools, 3 billion, thousands of schools becoming full service community schools, sports, arts, mental and physical health, another 2.6 billion, accelerate learning, high dose tutoring, 1.1 billion, reducing classroom size, 1 billion summer school before and after for children in low income communities, universal meal program. And we know where that, the breakfast program started with the Black Panthers, and now we're going universal with it. So
facts.
You're welcome.
Transforming public education, creating a new grade in California. Looks like $900 million by 2022, and looks like 100,000 new childcare slots as well for the public education. So let's see how that's going to turn out.
Creating a new grade. So 13th grade, are we talking about? Or are we talking about pre-kindergarten. Guess we'll find out. Okay, and this is also this is transforming public education also. 93.7 billion, highest level ever. 15.3 billion additional federal funding, nearly 1,400 per pupil. 10 years ago, it was about 7K per pupil, half of that. Cost of living adjustment, balance paying deferrals.
Another transforming public education item, 3.7 million child college savings accounts. This should be pretty cool for those who want to attend college. $2,500,000 the seed into each account. Low-income pupils, homeless pupils, and pupils in foster care will receive $500. Homeless and those in foster care will receive an additional $500 deposit.
Transforming public education, preparing teachers. 550 million teacher training, recruitment. 500 million Golden State Teacher Grant Program. 100 million expanded teacher residency program. 125 million classified school employees. Credentialing. 66 million roadmap to pre-K through 12 education employment program.
All right, looks like they're doing a lot in public education. Broadband, $7 billion in broadband for all. Oh, that's good. Hopefully this will close the digital divide. Let's see, and it will make broadband more accessible to all Californians. So hopefully, they'll be able to expand on this a little bit more or expound on it, just because I think, at least as far as I'm concerned, we need a little bit more clarity on this, meaning that is it just for public education since it's put into this bracket, or does it really mean broadband more accessible to all Californians, not just involved with the public education? So I know it's underneath this particular item, but I'd be interested in to see if all of Californians would be able to have more access to broadband and not just within the public education system.
I hope so, that it extends to all Californians, because you never know when we might end up in another pandemic situation where you can't go to school and you need distance learning. So you need the tools to participate in distance learning. So, hopefully they'll consider that in this expansion.
Absolutely.
All right. Transforming public education, making college more affordable than ever before. Highest level ever for higher education funding, driving down the cost of attendance, more ongoing funding, restorations of 2000 budget cuts, cutting cost of student housing, bringing the cost of textbooks closer to zero, new 70% attainment goal.
957 million will be going to the UC system. Looks like 506 million of that is going to be an ongoing 5% base increase. 451 million one-time additional, including notable adjustments. And as we could see, some of those adjustments would be deferred maintenance, UC Davis Animal Shelter Medicine Program, UCLA Labor Center, Dyslexia Center, UCLA Asian American Studies Center, UC Berkeley Alternative Meats Lab, and also the it looks like, is there the U.S. Descendants of Slavery?
I don't see that on there, but we'll be hollering at Governor Gavin Newsom about that. Transforming public education, 1.4 billion CSU. What's that? 596 million ongoing 5% base increase and cuts restored. 833 million one time, including notable adjustments. 433 million Humboldt Polytechnic, $325 million. Deferred maintenance again, wasn't that on the other one? $25 million. Northridge STEM Center, $10 million. Computing Talent Initiative, $10 million. Professional development.
All right, community college, $3.6 billion. Fully retired deferrals, cost of living adjustments, guided pathways, zero textbook cost degrees, boost recruitment and retention rates, expand dual enrollment, ESL vocational training, basic needs, food, and housing. And once again, that's going to be $3.6 billion. I thought I said it before, the number, but maybe I didn't. But that will be $3.6 billion going to the community college.
All right, now on to jobs and infrastructure. Largest small business relief package in the nation, expanding small business grant to $4 billion. Largest program in the country. Largest state tax cut for small businesses in history, $6.2 billion. Hundreds of millions of grants and tax credits to attract business to California.
Yeah, well, if you're a business, you better get in it. Jobs and infrastructure, more grants and tax credits to provide relief and attract businesses to California. State Small Business Credit Initiative, Cal competes, port revenue loss relief, a Main Street hiring tax credit, and a sales tax exclusions.
Jobs and infrastructure. More grants and tax credits to provide relief and attract businesses to California. $95 million. Promote tourism through Visit California. $70 million. Loan guarantees, iBank. $35 million. California Dream Fund. $30 million. Cal Film tax credit. SALT partial fix. So they're throwing some money at the film industry, I see. Yeah.
Hollywood.
By way of tax credits.
$52 billion, 5-year capital gain, transportation, $4.2 billion, high-speed rail, $3.1 billion, rail and transportation. Wow. 2028 Olympics, huh? We're trying to get the 2028 Olympics here in California. Very interesting. $3.9 billion, deferred maintenance and accelerated projects.
Okay, and it looks like they're trying to revive that old high-speed rail again. We'll see if that happens. Jobs and infrastructure, $3.6 billion, growing California's workforce. $1 billion, new grant program for those that lost their job during the pandemic to get back to school, start a business. $1 billion, learning aligned employment. $750 million, transitioning to carbon neutrality.
All right, yeah, that's going to be cool. You know, they can definitely fund individuals who did lose their jobs to, you know, start their own businesses. Because obviously, you know, if there's a hostile working environment for individuals, it's really good to get your entrepreneurship on, if at all possible. $3.6 billion, growing CA's, California's workforce. $417 million will be going to apprenticeships, high road training partnership program. Let's see, higher ed and business partnerships to help job development in up to 8 regions. And I don't know what IHSS Pathways is, but I'm sure once we get further into this, we'll be able to dig into that a little further.
Yeah, and whatever it is, it's got $200 million coming its way. Jobs and infrastructure, $480 million, service and volunteerism, $285 million, grants for 12,500 students to attend college, each serving up to 450 hours in 9 months. stipend up to $7,000, and scholarship of $3,000. Work projects include key community challenges, 200 million grants to local to establish or expand youth volunteer and job opportunities.
Tackling climate change, $5.1 billion for drought resilience. Yeah, definitely this is something that California definitely needs, and I'd probably say most of the West Coast, including the southern west region, because they're very dry, including Arizona, obviously Nevada, and I mean even probably even the lower parts of Oregon definitely need some drought resilience. So 5.1 billion is going to be tackling climate change. 2.6 billion of that for drinking water, supply, food resilience, groundwater cleanup and recycling, pump storage, immediate drought support, small water relief, and nature-based solution. $726 million going to that.
Tackling climate change, $2 billion. Wildfire and emergency response, largest investment in California history. New firefighting equipment like airplanes and Black Hawk helicopters. Improves forest health. Provides more staffing. Directs funds to communities. Community hardening for all hazards, including earthquakes, floods, and fires. And in this wildfire relief, there should be jobs for these prisoners that were trained to fight fires. Hopefully they'll be able to get some of those jobs when they get out, making a livable wage.
Yep. An electric grid for the 22nd century, $912 million. Build a cleaner, resilient, and reliable electric grid, $375 million. For energy improvements, which will include industrial and food production, electric storage projects, and green hydrogen production, offshore wind development.
Tackling climate change again, 3.2 billion, zero emissions vehicles goal by 2035, 1.7 billion, trucks and buses supporting infrastructure, 1,150 trucks, 1,000 transit buses, 1,000 school buses, 800 million clean cars for all, and ZEV rebates, targeted rebates, 500 million infrastructure, 250 million ZEV manufacturing grants.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see.
What's that?
Yeah, just to see the transition from, the current, engines that most people have, which are gas, going from these more green-based engines, like how that's going to work. Because I don't know too many people that can afford, a Tesla or anything, just dropping it, boom, here you go. So, yeah, so we'll see how this.
Maybe they'll get cheaper, as time goes along, like most electronics do, and become more affordable. But hopefully, you never have an issue where your car won't charge like when your phone doesn't charge.
Word.
Be stuck out there somewhere.
I know, it's all stuck. Like your cell phone stuck. All right, 1.3 billion going to, once again, climate resilience, 495 million, partnering with community-driven climate initiatives, support low-income communities on the front line of extreme heat with urban greening and emergency efficiency, protect communities from sea level rise and flooding, and capping abandoned oil wells.
Tackling climate change, 954 million, toxic cleanup, 500 million, environmental justice, toxic cleanup, investigations of highly contaminated properties, 454 million, excise cleanup.
Sustainable agriculture, $926 million. Yeah, this is pretty huge for California, since California is one of the largest agricultural producers, not only in the country, but in the world. So definitely would be a well-funded item in this comeback plan. 794 million for climate smart agriculture, equipment replacement, alternatives to burning, soil management, and climate catalyst fund. Once again, that's $926 million.
Tackling climate change, 920. Oh, maybe we just did this one, or maybe not. 926 million. Sustainable agriculture, 78 million. Healthy, resilient, and equitable food systems, 30 million. Farm to school, 54.7 million. Economic recovery and high road job growth, 8.7 million. Direct assistance to small mid-sized farmers, 10 million. Farmer training apprenticeships.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty big for, even the small Black farming community that we do have. They could definitely tap into this. And I believe both of these slides fall under that 926 million.
Yes, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Once I started reading. But yeah, hopefully, some young Black farming aspirants will, get in on this package deal.
Hey, $10 million going to farmer training apprenticeship. So get in.
Get back to the soil. Get back connected to the soil.
Yep.
All right. And we have healthcare for all. $2 billion. Eliminated suspensions, rate increase, Prop 56, 7%. There's that IHSS again. Developmental disability services, ACEs, diaper tampon tax, Medi-Cal expansions. Let's see, undocumented adults 60 years old and over, doula benefit, postpartum, medically tailored meals.
All right. And just to clarify, it looks like in-home supportive services stands for, or IHSS stands for in-home supportive services. So that's.
Thank you for checking that.
All right. Accountability and government efficiency, a new accountability unit for government spending, a federal stimulus, continues critical work to improve government efficiency, continues to bring government services into the digital age.
Government and digital transformation, 512 million. DMV, Real ID, technology, more digital services, 247 million. EDD, improved verification, backlog, moving to direct deposit, improving language access, more people to help navigate the system, 50 million. Department of Technology Innovation Fund.
All right, criminal justice, shutting down 2 prisons. That's good. Closing DJJ, transform Valley State Prison, expand educational activities and rehabilitation, facility modifications training, Friday visitations, new surveillance systems, including security cameras and body cameras to increase transparency and accountability, address backlog at Board of Parole hearing. Didn't see any numbers on this one. So fam, if you guys have any numbers in this one, or you hear about it, let us know. But outside of that, we are going to move on to the next one.
Immigrant integration, 105 million. Border efforts and emergencies, 50 million. At community colleges for vocational and ESL courses, 25 million. DACA naturalization fees, 25 million wraparound and legal services and support for unaccompanied minors placed with caregivers. And that is actually our last slide on this for the
There
evening.
you go. That is it, ladies and gentlemen.
I just hope that, with this robust budget and all these programs that they're going to be implementing, that the funding gets to the people that need it, and there's not a lot of red tape in getting that funding. I am finding with some of this COVID relief, they're not taking it very seriously. Not a lot of urgency in getting the funding to the people who are requesting it. So hopefully they streamline some of these programs and make it more attainable.
Yep. Definitely. So I think that pretty much is a wrap up for this comeback plan. And if anyone has any questions, you guys can drop us an email at etmmediagroup@gmail.com. That's etmmediagroup@gmail.com. And Kim, is there anything else for tonight?
Well, just anybody in the Sacramento area, we will be having a in-person meeting. ARCC Sacramento, American Redress Coalition of California. We're going to be having an in-person meeting at Capsity in Oak Park. That's at the corner of MLK and Broadway. So just check our social media pages for more information coming up on that. And come out and join us and learn all about the new, newly seated task force.
Yep.
All right. What is this?
All right. I think we're going back to the.
Oh, we went back to the other one. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I guess we will just take us out of here for the evening, and we will see you next time on ETM Media.
All right, everyone. Have a good night.
Have a good one.